Hello everyone, welcome back to Roll, and welcome back to the second Fan Build Friday. It's a bumper double edition for you today, based around a theme. So we can see Tim Moffat asks, what's the highest score you could get with all the die faces set to 1? And Abhishek Misal asks, hello sir, I got another idea for a run, the whole run with just 1 dice. So, let's put those two ideas to the test, see just how high a score in each case we can get with 1 dice of however many numbers we like, and 5 dice of all 1s. We will start with 1 die and seeing how high a score we can generate, because effectively we're just going to be trying to get all the faces to 99 and seeing what score we end up with. Because if we ever upgrade the shop, we immediately lose out on any capability of scoring with only 1 dice, because the upgrade presents us with a second dice. So what I'm going to do is start chewing through these purchases here, and I will catch up with you maybe every 250 runs, maybe every 500 runs. We'll see how the pace goes, just to see how big the numbers have gotten and how expensive everything gets in the shop, and how close we get to the possibility of having 99 on all of our dice. So I'll chew through this for a moment, I'll catch up with you. I'll come back at 2,000 rolls, because that's where we normally get to with a pair of 99s, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'll be right back. So here we are at 2,000 rolls remaining. We've got 199 and with the other face up to 80 so far. So it's not going to take too much work to get that one there up to 99, and then it's really just going to be a case of how quickly then, once we have our 299 set up, is it going to allow us to generate numbers to then get the other 3 faces up to those higher rolls. And the only real debate that I can imagine after this point is, should we focus on getting 1 face up to 99 again, or just start buying any kind of upgrade that we can for the other numbers? Because we would have 2 at 99 generating most of our volume. The question then, do we want 3 at 99 so we have a better chance of getting bigger numbers if we're lucky, or do we go for a more even spread so that we reduce our variance? So I'm gonna keep re-rolling, keep shopping, and I'll catch up with you again at 1500 runs, not 1950 runs. We're about to see that immediately. 1500 runs. Here we go. Alright, we're back early. It's still 1826 rolls left, but we are up to our 3rd 99. And I was just kind of throwing them around wherever I fancied, and I was like, actually, we've still got so many rolls left. We're generating now at such a swift pace that we're probably going to get to all 99s a lot faster than I had anticipated. So let's see how long it takes us to get this last one up top, and then we'll obviously have to go for the sides thereafter. The hardest part is being stern about buying 1 thing, coming back out, re-rolling, rather than rolling up a load of cash to then buy things in bulk. Because obviously that's going to be less efficient, because each thing that you buy isn't then going to be generating money on your future rolls if you buy multiple things at once. So place your bets. How many rolls are we going to have left when we get to all 99s on this die, and we can just roll down and see how many points we're going to score with that? Because it's not going to be long now. We'll get from 2 to 4 dice of 99s. If we get a good shop reroll, this could be it. It looks like it could be. That's 89. 5 more puts us on 94. That's 97. Now I will wait for a +2 to get that perfect. Or a +1, and then we'll have to find another +1 down the line. Everything else can go onto that left eye now. And soon we're basically going to be very unlikely to be rolling 99s when we only have 1 face that isn't 99, and then That will get us to our 6th face being 99 even quicker. We got no +1s on this whole shop, so it's going to be a quick trip through this. How about now? Any ones for us now? Yes. And we can already afford it. So there's 4 99s. I will come back to you when we are approaching our 6th in just a moment. So here we are on the final stretch to our last 99. And it's just been occurring to me that once we hit 99 and we know how many rolls we have left and we know what our current score is at that moment, we theoretically can just calculate what our score will be, because we know we're going to score 99 on every roll and that it's never going to be any different. So with this too, very satisfying that we get it to exactly 99. So our score is going to be, let's just do a very quick calculation here, 1661 times 99 plus 61 on top. 164,500 is what the computer says. So now with all of our 99s, we just get to hold down the button for a couple minutes. So we started at 6.5 minutes. Let's see how long it takes as we stare at our beautiful 99. You can make it go faster if you do things like, I would bind spacebar to both the up direction and down direction of my scroll wheel and then just mash it up and down, and every click on the up and down would count as a roll, but I think that would be excessive for the purposes of this demonstration. You go past 50,000, 60,000. I guess if 10 rolls is 990, 100 rolls is 9,090. It's going to be a solid about 2 minutes of just rolling. I'm glad they did increase slightly the rate at which hold to roll gets through your extra rolls. Makes this feel just a little bit faster. 500 rolls remaining. And of course we could go into the shop and keep spending our money just making our 99s be extra 99-y, because you can still buy stuff and put it onto 99 faces if you really wish to. Not sure why you would, but there we go, into our last 100 rolls. And as estimated, what did we say? 164,500. There you are. That is how much you can score with just one dice. One die, technically. Obviously, we could do better if you got lucky and you just always rolled your highest face every single roll whilst you're shopping. But that is the end of that. And now we're going to see what we can do with 5 dice, all set to 1s. Now, the question is, how early or late do we worry about building up all the all the dice to 1? Because the dice that we're going to generate are all going to have a 1 face. So as long as we maintain the 1 face on this die, we will be able to then set this die face to all 1s. But of course, so long as you have enough money to do so at the end, you could try and hit a giant lottery and then set everything to 1 and then finish the run. But that doesn't seem in the spirit of the task. So I am going to get 1 decently scoring die, otherwise I don't think we'll be able to get the ball rolling on things like the less than 13 multipliers, the fewer than 6 dice multipliers. We won't get prime bonuses because we know that the number 1 is not prime, 2 is the first prime number. So that's going to be slightly a shame, but what we will be able to do is get Yahtzee bonuses when we have all 5 of our dice out and all of them are set to 1. So we are going to want to do that as fast as possible once our other dice are all set to 1s. Question is, how big do we go on these? Because normally we go to 97 because it's a big number that is in fact the largest prime. So if you're trying to get bonuses from prime number bonuses and the like, then that's why you would pick that number specifically. But we just need enough to kind of get the ball rolling. So maybe we'll set 2 of these to about 50 and then work our way through some of the shop upgrades. We will of course want a universal reroll. That's going to be very important, because then every 1 we roll, it actually becomes a 4, or at least becomes worth 4. Factor 18 multiplier is going to be important. I wonder, I suppose you couldn't do it with only 2 dice, because something that had never really occurred to me until this moment, but the factor 18 multiplier you can only get when you have at least 4 dice, because you can only get it when passives are unlocked, and passives are unlocked only after you've upgraded the shop 3 times and then you have 4 dice. So it's not like we can get the factor 18 multiplier bonus now and have our whole score multiplied by 18 when we just have 1 die. But this is nicely going to round out at a pair of 50s, which I think will be enough to work with. So let's upgrade the shop the first time. Then we need to reroll that to see anything else. Now we could get, I mean, single face multipliers won't be worth very much to us when our highest single face is going to be 1. So apart from trying to times the 1 to become a larger number later, I think I'm just going to rush to the next shop upgrade. Now, what you could theoretically do if you started scoring enough points is, later on you can get bonuses that multiply the face of the die. So you could have 1 times 10 rather than 99 times 10. But if you get face multipliers stack, you can put a face up to 99 on that die. So theoretically you could have each of your dice roll a 1 but be worth a 99. Something to think about. So there's some 3x's. We'll get those just for our 50s for the meantime, because they're basically going to be doing all of the heavy lifting until we have some passive set up that we can then go to all 1s with. Alright, let's upgrade again. Then we get our first shot at buying passives. And already we have set all die faces. But before I do that, I'm going to get this center die with the 50s on it re-rolling. It's going to increase our buying capacity considerably. Doubles increase we do not want, because we don't want all of our 1s becoming other numbers. I will improve one of these to a 5x, just because with the re-rolling that becomes worth so much more to us. And then we'll set our first die to be all 1s, I suppose. We've got to do it sometime, and the present seems like as good a time as any. Now, add previous roll to rerolls is going to be worth something to us when all of our die faces are worth 1. We can also get set all die faces to 1 again. So now you can see why it was really worth getting these 50s set up for the early game. because otherwise trying to generate score on ones now would be near impossible for the purposes of trying to get to high enough values that we can shop for the things that we need. Numeric faces being worth ×5 and all non-numeric faces being worth nothing is great, because that's going to make all of our ones worth 5s, and we're not going to be having any non-numeric faces because all of our numeric faces will be 1. So we'll pick that up now. That will increase the value of our 50s as well. We could up that to 53 just because we can. Triples worth 100 extra %. I think we're more invested in just getting Yahtzee bonuses. So numbers less than 13 reroll once does not help us very much, but a single set of a kind, is that going to help us if we're just going to have one Yahtzee? 8 of a kind with Yahtzee and triple effect. 5 of a kind with Yahtzee and equals 5 of a kind plus 5 of a kind with Yahtzee equals 2 Yahtzees does not apply. 2 of a kind without doubles including rerolled and rolls does not apply. I'm not really sure how that works in this context. I will concede. What we can do right now is set that right hand side die to be all ones. And then we will upgrade the shop to get that bottom die. And immediately we can set that to be all ones. Then it's just about when we decide to pull the trigger on making the center dice all ones, because if we did it right now, we're going to have a real problem buying anything else. So let's look for some passives that are actually going to do us a lot of good. 10x will make one of our ones be worth 10, which is reasonably good. Let's do it here because that one's already re-rolling. Perfect squares, we're not going to have 4 dice. Nor are we going to have 9 dice. There's Yahtzee bonuses for 1000% and numeric bonuses for 10 times. So, if we pick those up and then set our top face, then it will just be a hunt to see what other things we can get going. To see how else we can pick up score. That was very good to us. So Yahtzee's worth 1000%. Then we're going to pick up one of these. There's all dice at 1. Now here's the question. What's the highest score you could get with all die faces set to 1? So it doesn't specifically state just the 5 dice with 1. So we could try and buy 10 more dice all of 1s, which is possible. If you notice the color change just there, that's on me. My screens get dimmer when the sun goes down. And I try and make sure to turn that off for recording, but I think we've been recording dim. Not that this is the game to have the most impact for it. So yeah, we could get 10 more dice, all rolling 1s, which might be worth 2 Yahtzees worth. And we don't have any previous rolls for them yet, but they will be worth 15 times more. Let's just see what one of our regular dice is doing for us right now. So 550, 100% Yahtzee bonus and 50 times numeric multipliers, because I guess this is doing times 10 then times 5, not times 15, which is really cool. So those are all generating 550, and the ones in the center are multiplying by 5 or the respective multiplier when they get an opportunity to. So what we really want right now is rerolls when you don't roll a 99, or rerolls when you don't have weights or something of that ilk. Top 3 is going to be a good one, because we currently only have 5 dice, so we can make our top 3 dice worth 10 times more and our other 2 dice worth a half, which basically you end up with, rather than having 5 dice, you end up with 31 dice, because 3 of them are worth 10 times and 2 of them are halved, so 30, and then 2 halves is 31, and 31 is bigger than 5. Otherwise the rest of this stuff we can't really take. Fewer than 6 die, 500% bonus, we absolutely do want. I'll also take a 10x for one of our faces somewhere. Still looking for rerolls. No weights triple reroll is great, plus no weights 200% extra value is great. So now all our dice are rerolling in triplicate every time. Fewer numbers lower than 13 get an extra 500%, and Yahtzees get an extra 500%. We are finding the stuff we need today. We could put glue. If we bought some glue here, we could put the glue on the 10x, which is a shame that we just doubled up on 10x's here. But if we roll the 10x, we always want to be rolling the 10x. So at the same time, let's put glue on another face, just so that if we find a 10x, we have somewhere to put it. Everything got really expensive. There is a 10x. We'll put that on the glued face. Lottery rerolls and all-in will not work out for us today. No weights plus another 100%. We're actually generating a huge value just with all these ones. Far more than I thought we were going to. Factor 18 multiplier, so I guess it does start with 4 dice is a times 4 multiplier, which is the earliest you can get the bonus. Run increases we do not need. Rerolls worth 50% more, absolutely. Non-standard multiples we don't need, because all of our multiples will be standard, because they will be 1s. Extra for triples I don't think is going to apply, because yeah, will not occur if the die is included in a Yahtzee bonus, and all of our dice are by default. Slot machine, add half die quantity. All numeric faces have half the die quantity of die added to their roll result. So if we check out this guy over here that's fairly plain, the first one is 172,800, and thereafter we get 518,400. If we then buy this and roll once, we can see what the 172 and the 518 change to. Oh, we bought other passives in that rotation, so the numbers got a lot bigger, we'll say that much. Primes reroll, die quantity, single face multiplier, stuff we don't need. No 99s, an extra 200%. Gladly. Trying to keep my eye up for good multiples, but 6 times previous, 300% extra for 6 or fewer than 6 dice, and 100% more on our rerolls is huge. We'll take a 3x, pop it just anywhere really. Yahtzee's triple reroll, we already have triple rerolls. Now I'm trying to wonder what other passives are there that we're actually going to want, because I think we've seen most of the stuff that's going to benefit us. We've got the reroll bonus 100% and 50%. We've got fewer than 13. We've got Yahtzee. We've got Yahtzee for 1,000. We've got 500 and 300 for fewer than 6 dice. We've got both of these guys. We've got that one. I don't know if there's a no weights 200% and a no 99s 100%, but we'll keep looking for a while. The rerolls are going to get very expensive. Triple rerolls, weights, there's a 10x. We'll grab that. So I'll leave the bottom die plain just so that we can hover over it and see what an effective quote-unquote standard roll currently looks like. All in is obviously no good to us. Lotteries, perfect squares. I think at this point we're just kind of burning through money on rerolls that really we're going to want to hold on to. Single set of a kind. We saw this previously. I'm not really sure if it applies to us, but what we can do is, if we look down here, the bottom 3 rolls are 155, 520, all noughts. Let's buy this and see if that number changes. It seems to have changed. So something working out there, or it was part of the top 3 previously and now isn't. Who knows? Not really me. Lotteries, face increases. Reroll numbers less than 13. Yahtzee increases. So I think we've got all the passives we could want. So what we'll do is I'm just going to start rolling now, and we'll come back and revisit our rerolls after the 100 marks when you get the free ones. Don't want either of those. We'll roll down to 700. We've got about 1.5 trillion for those rolls. Combined face multipliers is one of the other things that might actually enable us to make an impact. Because at the moment we have this 10 here, we could keep buying on that 10 to get up to 99. And we do have double our highest dice, don't we? We've got top 3. There is a passive for just double your highest die, and I don't think we have it, so that would be great to get. This is going to be very expensive, but we can afford it. Get our free reroll, because at no point through all that did we able to actually afford one. But none of these are price increases, so watch this number slowly tick up. Get our free reroll again. So now we can put things like this 10x on here to make that 20x or 23x and see how high we can get that, and then the question becomes, would it have been worth just rolling and not purchasing that than it was purchasing it and seeing if we make our money back for our investment. So our free roll on 400, passive hunter, bit late. Check out our reroll on 300, I imagine. So on the 23, we are getting 280 million. So that's 65 billion. So it's 6 trillion, 65 billion, 280 million on that die roll. Obviously, if we had managed to stack up to 99 on there, that would be the biggest we could really get for ourselves. But it's not looking like we're going to be able to invest too much more in this with all our ones. We'll buy in just a little bit more. Then we'll get down to what will probably be our last shop refresh. There's double highest die, as I mentioned earlier. So let's see what happens here. We've got 10 trillion. We can spend 7 trillion to double our highest die. And then how much will we get back in our last 100 rolls to try and get back to 10 trillion? Doesn't look like we're going to make it. No, so we would have been better off not buying it, in fact, but I think our score would have only have been the difference between 10 trillion and 17 trillion. So 7 trillion, 272 billion for a dice setup with all the ones, which is a lot more than I kind of thought it was going to be. Obviously, we had lots of passives going for us and we got the good Yahtzee stuff going, but thank you guys for the suggestions. If any of you have more suggestions that you would like to see on Fan Build Friday, please put them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then please consider dropping a like on the video, or if you want to see more like this, you can hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.